Rev up your engines! Okay, 2 for 1 here. We got an oil leaking Nissan Sentra. I'm going to show you how to figure out what's wrong and fix it. And number 2, I'm going to talk about the car itself. Now the guy just bought this Nissan Sentra for 1,800 bucks. Now everybody knows I'm not a Nissan fan, but this is basic transportation. You can see it's got a ding on it, trunk's a little bit off, but it still runs pretty good. And one of the reasons it does is because it's a 1994. Back in the day, Nissan made some decent vehicles, right? Renault took over Nissan, and they didn't really start to ruin the company for 6 or 7 years. This is long before they bought them, and they're actually pretty good vehicles. Now, this is a regular automatic transmission, not a CVT, still shifts good. And this is an old-style Nissan 4-cylinder engine. It's got a distributor, it is fuel injected, and they're actually really good engines. This one still runs good, doesn't burn oil. And indeed, back in the day, Nissan did make them much better. It is not a bad car, even though it's got 160,300 miles, which is actually low mileage for a 94. 30 years old, right? You're talking about a 30-year-old car. Which is that reasonably economy cars. I mean, the AC still works. It's got automatic transmission with overdrive. And hey, as old as it is, look how good the cloth interior is held up. That's why cloth is good if you want to keep things forever. Even the door cards are still in pretty good shape. It's kind of amazing. Well, start her up. Still sounds good. Look, it's a racing Sentra. It's got a hole in the muffler. Eventually it's going to need a muffler, but then again, this is Tennessee. They don't do emissions testing, so you can drive it a long time. But the problem with this is it's leaking engine oil. Now, the owner's a big fan of mine, so he changed the oil and he put AT205 reseal, and it stopped leaking for like 3 weeks. But then he went driving in the country up big hills and zooming real fast, and now it's leaking a whole bunch again. So we're going to find exactly where it's leaking from. And for that, we get leak detecting dye, and we pour the engine oil. Of course, everything's got to have a seal on it, so we got to break that, take that crap up. But this is a one-shot usage, so you pour the whole thing in. So after you pour the whole thing, you start it, drive around the block 10-15 minutes. Now I road tested it, and here's the trick. The hood doesn't like to open. You pull on the hood opener, and nothing happens. See, it won't open. So what you do is beat it. Now it pops open. I use UV leak dye because it's the easiest, simplest, quickest thing to do. If you're trying to go by sight alone, first you'd have to clean everything off, all the engine, transmission, everything whistle clean, then see what part's getting greasy, right? I don't have to do any of that. You put the leak dye in, it glows when you put a UV light on. As soon as I shine my UV light on it, it'll show you where the leak is coming from. You don't have to clean anything up. So now we've done that, let's jack it up and look underneath. Up it goes. Then we're gonna jack stand. Jack it a little higher so it fits better. There we go. Crawl under. There it is, guys. Turn the light on. It's glowing green like mad. Coming from the top of the engine. So it's gonna need at least a front main crank seal. So you got a front main seal from AutoZone. You're taking it apart. So I'll pop off the hubcap. Take the wheel off. What a guess. Got it right first time. Off it goes. Seal's behind the crank here, so we got to take the fan belts off. So we'll loosen this one. This is the tensioner. Then we loosen the bottom. The belt will come off. It's that easy for this one. We can do it with a finger now. We just keep spinning it till it's loose enough, and the belt will come off. You can see it's getting looser now. A little bit more. You need a lot of slack. Is that enough slack? Yes, it is. Okay, that belt's off. And the alternator belt's on the top. You loosen this bolt. Then we can loosen the front, slide it in. Then with the 12mm, like I say, not much working room here, but it goes on the front. You loosen that a whole bunch, and it'll slide forward. And you can see with a giant pry bar, you can easily pry it forward. There it goes. It should have enough slack now. Go back down here. We can see it's got more slack. Now we got to take the big bolt off here. These are loose enough to get it off. Let's stick it on. This case is 27mm. Now it's hard to get these off, so I'm using an electric impact. As you can see, takes it right off. Slide this off, wiggle the out of it. There we go. And the seal's right here. Now how do you get the seal out? They're at a weird angle, so you get a seal puller like this, right? Big handle. You put it in here and it should pop right out. You get it in the groove, and you pull it out. There's the old worn out seal. They wear out over time. Look, it's got cracks and everything in it. Here's the new seal, perfectly smooth. It's off a big socket like this that fits over the edge of it to push it in. Then push the seal in, then push your big socket on and tap it. Now you can see it's seated in here good, all the same depth, and we'll put it back together. Then we get the bolt, put it back in. Nice and tight with our impact wrench. You don't want it coming off, and you really need an impact wrench, because if you just use a regular wrench, this will keep spinning. The impact wrench will get it nice and tight. Then we'll tighten up all the fan belts. And of course, before we're done putting all that together, let's start it and see if it stopped leaking. Now the big question to you might be, why did the sealer work? You saw the old seal, it was cracked with rips in it. That sealer did work for a short time, but the cracks are too big. Then you have to replace the seal. Just, thank goodness, it was the front main seal, an easy job, versus the rear main seal, where we would have had to pull the entire transmission off the car to fix it. So we got the tire on, put the hubcap on. It's a universal hubcap, so I guess it doesn't matter which way it goes. And we're done. So what have we learned? Well, an old 94 Nissan Sentra can still be an excellent work car. He only paid $1,800 for it. It runs good. And now it's not leaking oil. Let's just pray the rear main seal lasts quite a bit longer, because then you got to pull the tranny, and that is a giant job. Here's this beautiful old 18-year-old Lexus. But look at the radio system. It's still got a tape deck. It does have a CD, but there's no way you can connect your phone or anything else. So you got this great stereo system that this Lexus was designed with. It's got tweeters, it's got speakers all over the place. It sounds fantastic. Big problem, you can't hook your phone up to it. Well, you can now. Now in the past, since this has no capability of using other devices, buy one of these. This is an excellent Android system that comes with everything you need, and you replace this. But we're to hook all these wires up to the system, and this unit itself is about $350. Spend $350, and with the many speakers that this thing has, it is one cow hooking up those speakers. So when I tried this thing out, $23. I watch how easy it is to hook up. Really complicated here. We'll open up the ashtray. Yes, it has an ashtray, because it's old. And all we do is plug it in. That's it. There it is. Just have to connect this to the phone. Now, of course, it has capabilities. You can connect it to your phone wirelessly, but I've done a lot of experimentation. This works better. You know, it was only $23. It also came with a headphone jack. So you can plug the headphone jack into the unit and then plug that into your phone. That's it. Now it's connected. All you gotta do is turn on the radio, go to a non-used station. In this case, I set it on my number 6. I put it on 87.7 because 87.7 is the bottom of the dial, and a lot of stations are never used in any cities for that, so it's a good blank station. Now you can set it wherever you want, and let's say you're on a trip and you got it set and you go to another area where that station's used, you can just change it to another non-used station. Then what you do, you go to the unit itself and press channel. It's on 87.7 because I already set it. So let's say it's set on the wrong one. All you do is turn this knob until it's 87.7. Now it matches the radio. Now we'll turn on our Spotify. All the controls work as usual. You can turn the radio one up there, or you can use your phone volume, whatever you want. And it has fantastic sound. Now, as I said, you can use it wirelessly. It's got a wireless setup too, but when you plug it in with the headphone jacks, you get the absolute best sound, because it's not a smart idea to have two wireless systems going. If you hooked your phone up wirelessly to this, then you would have wireless going from your phone to the FM broadcaster, and then broadcasters going wirelessly into the radio. Why mess around with two wireless systems when you can easily just have only one? And with that connected using the headphone jack, it's a really good connection. A lot of times wired is better. So there's this one little wire. Big deal. Now this little FM transmitter also has a slot for a mini SD card, so you can put music all you want on an SD card, or you can put all the music you want on one of these little memory ones, 64 gigabytes, so there's room for an awful lot of music. Then you just get your USB stick, put it in, plug it in, and watch this.
USB audio mode.
Turn up your engine! In this case, you don't have to do anything except turn the car on. Watch, you turn it on.
USB audio mode.
I have no idea how they can put all that stuff in that little unit and sell it for $22.95. But I've seen them even cheaper for $19.95. Probably the same thing, you know, they're made in China, and there's one company that probably makes a bunch of them, puts different names on them, because they all have the same facade. But I am totally blown away by this thing. I mean, really? You want to buy this thing for 23 bucks? Or you want to spend $350 and hooking all this crap up? When I was young, first car I got was a German car, an Opel. And the Germans are so logical and non-emotional that car didn't even have a radio in it. So, somebody abandoned an old Studebaker at my father's garage. So, it was locked up. I climbed in through the trunk and I took out this old tube radio. Yes, it was a tube AM radio. Not that it have push buttons, I'll give it that, but it was only an AM radio. And it was big. So I took the glove box out of the Opel, still had the door, and I stuck that old tube radio in there. Then I had a radio and I stuck a speaker under there, but it was only AM. Well, back in the 60s when I did that, FM radio was coming up and all the good rock stations, everything were on FM, right? So I got an FM converter that was like a little bitty radio, would pick up the FM, and then it would broadcast it to an unused AM station. So now I had an FM radio in my car. Granted, it was only one speaker, like an ear, that I bolted under the glove box sitting there. It looked kind of bizarre. But I got sick of my friends singing because I didn't have a radio, so I had to get an FM radio. I stuck that in. Not only having one speaker, it wasn't stereo, and it couldn't have been because that old AM radio didn't have stereo capability, but it worked okay. I could listen to the FM stations. But today, almost 60 years later, you find this stuff. It's just amazing how well it works.
USB audio mode.
I've been testing this one out, and I'm totally amazed by this stuff. $23? I mean, what the heck? Even if the thing broke after a year or two, buy another one for $23. You can't even get a tank of gas for $23. And since this car has killer speakers in it already, it's one of these premium Lexus sound systems. Why throw the baby away with a bathwater? This thing's got a killer system. Why mess with it when all you need is that little bitty converter to do the work for you? I know some people say, well, what if the reception gets bad? Okay, this is a transmitter and the radio is receiving it, right? Well, here's the transmitter and here's the receiver. It's what, 4 inches away? You're really not going to have any problems with reception. So you don't have to worry about tunnels, sunspots, whatever. This thing is so close. It really works fantastic. It works a lot better than the old FM to AM one that I had when I was a kid, because of course it's in this car with a phenomenal stereo system anyways. It just can't accept modern technology. Well, look, now it can. So you can go as retro as you want. You can go tape, CD, you can go radio, or you can use all your modern technology for $23. But let's say you got a car that doesn't have a very good speaker system. Well,
Power on.
I've got this Treblab system. It's one of the latest ones I tried out. Now this particular one, I saw it on sale on Amazon anywhere from $54 to $80 for the same unit. So I mean, heck, buy it at the $54 one. Why spend $80-something when you get the same thing for $54? And being Bluetooth, you can connect it to your phone with Bluetooth. But still, you really want the best sound, take the little flap, stick it in, audio out, stick the other end, your headphone jack on your phone. It sounds much better that way. Again, you have a much better connection using a wire. Listen to that sound. And of course, you can do any combo you want. You can get this, you can connect that to the speaker, either wirelessly or with a cord. Then you can use your SD card, the little memory stick. It's unbelievable the combinations you can get for a tiny amount of money. Your car's already got great speakers? Just use this. Maybe your speakers stink or blown out. This puts out fantastic sound. You know, it's made for rooms, so when you're inside a car, there's not that much space, and it really puts out great sound. It's got both ends, doing bass. These things are insane. Why spend $500-600 for fancy Androids and then spend hundreds, if not thousands, on super expensive speakers? Do it the Scotty way, the cheap way, and still get some great sound. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.